Hello everybody and welcome back to this this Mamiya-Sekor C 3.5 and 35 millimeter, which has had a stiff focus ring. So this one will be the part 2, where I actually have taken everything apart, of course, and cleaned all the helicoids, which looks like new. I mean, almost. But now I will also mention that I will try some new grease, which will be this one. It's from the British company called Polar Bear Camera. And it seems to be something like they are delivered to some camera repair shops. I don't know, but to me it looks interesting. It's an NLGI grade 1, which will be a very, I mean, at least some finer loop. I mean, compared to the one I usually use, the LM47. But in this case, I will use this one on all the helicoids. But so let's see what it will be. Now, I will first take the most inner helicoid, and since I have already in the beginning set some marks everywhere, you can see here, 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 all those marks I set in part 1. So I know exactly where everything should sit. And of course I have the whole script here, which you can see with all the measure and how many turns that has to come off for the helicoids. So I will simply just go backward in reverse order. And I will start with the inner helicoid. And now I will try this interesting grease. It looks, I mean, I have taken a look at it, and there doesn't seem to be any, it's quite clear, any, well, grease separation, so far at least. I don't know. But let's see how good it will be. I mean, it might be maybe too hard. I don't know. But let's put it on here. See what will happen. So it doesn't have to have much. It's just a thin film on this one. So it will be interesting to see how soft it is, or maybe the helicoid needs some softer, even softer. Now it doesn't have to have much, so I think I will go for this and simply screw it into the middle helicoid. I have a mark here, and I also have a mark here. Here's my infinity mark, which I set in the very beginning, but my off mark is over here at around 2 o'clock. We have 12 here, and my off mark was over here at around 2 o'clock. So I just have to put it on, and remember, the thread for this lens group, the middle lens group, will be towards the front. So I have to put this on. Where's my mark? Here. And just wiggle it into place, and then now here. Then if I follow my script, I need to turn it 1 and a bit turn till over around 2 o'clock. But of course this I have to go backward. So I was here at 2 o'clock and it comes on. Then I have to go 1 full turn, and then it will be very interesting to see how good is this grease in this case. Well, it's not that soft. I would think it would be softer. So I might change it to something else, which I will try with the even softer, which is this one, the NLGI grade 0. So I think I will just clean the helicoid here, and well, I will be back in a short time and try with the soft. So let's see. Okay, I just cleaned the middle helicoid, the inner helicoid, and then I will simply try with the soft. It will be an NLGI grade 0, and it looks more clear than the other one, and it doesn't seem there is oil separation in this one, but I don't know. I have really no idea of how good this is, but I will try it. So with my brush, I will simply try to add this. Wow, it seems to be much more soft than the other one. So I think it, yeah, we'll see. Simply add some, doesn't have to be a lot, since it's actually very soft to work with. So I don't think it needs a lot, but we'll see. And I find makeup brush thingy from the shops, which I think will be, I mean, this is really good. And then I will put it on, and then so it can spread into this one, and maybe add a little more. I don't know, maybe this will be enough. So let's see. It's very interesting, this. Now my off mark seems to be here, and I just have to catch the thread. Where is it? So there, yeah. Well, at least it's much better. I mean, really much better. It doesn't have to use a lot of force on it. So I think I will stick with this. So now I can continue with the measure how long is there from the front of the middle helicoid to the very back of the inner helicoid. And there, at least with the mark in line here, you can see here, I know it's difficult, but you can see the 2 marks here have to be in line. So now I can measure that it should be something around 25.94 or so. Well, something like that. So I think it's okay. Now I can put on that's for now. So now I can put on the outer helicoid with all the numbers, the index number, I mean the depot field number. So I think I will put it on in here. I think it will be more easy. And doesn't have to be much. It's a finer thread than the other one. So it will be so interesting to see when this lens is fully assembled, how good this grease actually is. I'm actually very, maybe a little too much. Here, it can come over here. So, and the next piece of script, see, at infinity, it will say my infinity number here. From the front of the middle helicoid, it will say this is the middle helicoid. To the back of the outer helicoid is something like, well, there should be around 37.92 or so. And there should be something like 6 and a bit over half a turn. So when it comes on the thread. So I have my reference mark, which is the infinity mark, and which I set here in the first part of this video. It will say when this comes off, it will the infinity mark is here, so I can put this on here. So those two marks are in line. It will say this mark and this mark. And I have to catch the thread. It can be a little difficult here as I see it. And don't use too much force. So now I can actually put it up to the infinity mark, I mean the index mark up here. So, and now it sticks to the thread. And then I have to go 6 turns from that. So it will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And it looks like it will be fine if you look at how much thread is left. And I can just continue and give you some good movement to really have the grease going into the thread. And there is nothing really left in here. So I think it will be quite good. So now I can measure from the front here of the middle helicoid to the back of the outer helicoid. So let's see how much it is. It should be something around, let's see, it has to be a little more. It doesn't have to be that much. So you can see I actually ended up with around the same measure like when I took it apart. And now we can continue with not the front, it will come sooner. But then I can put on the helicoid key. And since I set marks with 1, 2, 3 in the very beginning, I know exactly where they should sit. So I will also give those helicoid key some grease. Actually already tried with something other grease, but I think this one will be fine. It doesn't have to have much, especially on the sides. So there. And I think it will be that. Now, put this on. Yeah. And we have number 1 here. This is also number 1. Helicoid key there. Well, better to put it on here. So you can see here, it goes in here, and give it some little movement so the grease will be spread, and then put it in here. Not correct. So, and now it's here. So now, right now, the helicoids for the back lens group is actually in. And let's see how good it will be. Now, wow. Now this is actually very good. Very good. I do not have to use a lot of force to make it work. It is really a big difference compared to the medium. It was too, let's say, too sticky. I think the soft is quite good. I'm happy I bought 2 of them. But I think this will be quite good. So now I will also, I mean, there was some thread lock on the screws in the beginning in this lens. So I will simply add some Loctite, which is the softest of all those. It's a purple one. So I will simply add something. It doesn't have to be much. Oh, that's all. So because then I can make sure it doesn't have to be much more than this. You can see it's very little, and it will be fine for the next repair person. Also take the other. Screw so it also will be good. Maybe it's not necessary, but I mean a little is better than actually nothing, and the screws will come loose, but I think it'll be fine. So give it a good tighten, and everything is really good. Wow, that's a great grease. Interesting. Then I can continue to put all the other in. So, and a little of because the 3 pins here will also go into the middle part here, which also have those notch. So the lens, the middle helicoid, the middle lens assembly with the aperture assembly sits in. So now put this on here. So. And don't tighten it yet. So there. That's all fine. Then I can tighten them good. And they also, wow, it's really a good grease. I mean, I think it can do something. So, I mean, the grease will at least spread when I move the helicoid keys, helicoids in here. Okay, good. There. So there, and the last screws. So. There. Come on, little fellow. It's good with a magnetized screwdriver, but you have to load it with more magnetic field. So now it's the inner helicoid is fine, which is really good. Wow, that's great. So now I can put the, where did it go? The front helicoid, and then put in the aperture assembly, which also hold the, not hold the, it's where the inner lens group is, so it will move. So let's put the things together. There's actually only one way you can assemble the all the parts. It's very, it's really good. So let's see. So I really like that grease. It's great for the helicoids. And of course, how long it will last, I have no idea. So there. There are so many different greases, but since the helicoids are really tight fit, it's difficult to get the right helicoid grease. See, in the very beginning, at the first part of the video, I set a mark here, which is in line with the index mark here. And I also set a mark in here, just to make sure this the inner part, the inner helicoid, sits correct in relation to the middle helicoid and also to the front. So when this helicoid came off, I set an arrow down here. And we can just, for now, remove some of the grease so it doesn't have to be all over the place. So I can put this on here, see, and hopefully it was a little difficult because it's really tight fit. So one can move it a little and click, it says. And when we are here, I need to turn it a bit over 1.5 turn till it come back to the infinity. I mean, in the beginning it came off 1.5. I mean, a bit over 1.5 turn, which was the arrow down here. So now I can actually just turn it 1.5. Wow, it's really good. So that was half a turn, a bit over half a turn. So I can just move it 1 full turn until it come up to the infinity mark here. I mean the index mark. So now all 3 marks here, the index mark, the middle helicoid, and the front helicoid, and they are now in line. So now I can put, I also have to measure how is it actually. It has to be something like 55.10, something like that. And I just have to adjust it here and then measure and see. And you see, in this case, I measure on not the very back here, but here, in this area here. Because there is actually, when you can see here, there is a kind of a part here sticks more out than actually the inner here. So that's why I also make a little drawing here. It's the flat part, not the little higher point. I don't know what it's called. But then I can measure how is it from the front to the very back. And it should be something like there. So it was, I mean, it depends on how I hold my caliber, but it will be 55.11 or so. It doesn't matter as long as I'm on the right point, let's say. So now I can put in the inner, the aperture assembly. So I just need to add a little of grease here. Doesn't really have to be much. Since I have already tried with some different stuff, I think this grease will be the grease. And I also set a mark here on the top with the infinity mark. So I can simply just put this in, and it has to sit with the 3 pins here, the helicoid keys. So I can lower it here, and hopefully, so there. And then I can adjust this mark here so it sits in line, because then my screw holes here will also sit perfect. And those are the screws with the little spacer, which you can see here, hopefully, this little spacer. So there, a little bit more there. So, and then add this screw here. Don't tighten it too much yet. So there, and next one up here. So there, and so, and then the last one down, I mean here, 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 and then this one comes on. So now check again, the helicoid sits perfect. Then I can tighten this. They have just used some varnish or something like that, but I think this will also work really good. So let's see how good it will be. Wow. I mean, this is actually really good. I mean, I doesn't have to use a lot of force on this. It's not too, say, loose, and it's not too tight. So I'm quite happy with this one. Now then I can add the inner lens, and it's better if you set it to infinity, because then it's actually closer to. No, I think it's fine. You just set it where you want, but I will just set it at infinity. So yeah. So now I can put it in. I mean, there was a lot of sticky, I mean, separated grease on the inner, I mean, the middle lens element. Not the lens element, but the lens element housing. But I think it was simply because of the grease was separated. So I can just put this in. So there. I think it will be fine for now. Then use a lens tool, whatever you have. So now it's fine. Actually, wow, really good. So now I can put the very front lens element in. There is not really anything on the lens element here, and this all looks fine. So I can just add it in here, going a little backward. Click, it says, yeah, there. And then use a 70mm, one of the biggest, to screw the front lens on. So now, then I can now, yeah, let's see. Of course, I also need the distance ring. See, yeah, but that was not good. But I can simply just take out this little red dot. Nah. E. Well, yeah, I think I will take off the front lens screw. I mean front lens. So. And simply take off the front ring here, which is the front helicoid. It doesn't take long, because then I cannot put on the focusing ring. But it doesn't take long. And hopefully it's not necessary. It is. Yes, of course. I need to take out the lens element again. Damn. Things happen. Yeah. So now I can just unscrew it. It was not the planet. So, out with that lens group. And the whole inner section, the aperture assembly, comes out. Well, it's not a big problem. But I need to take the front helicoid off, of course. So I can just do that. Turn it, half a turn, one full revolution, and then it comes off there. Boom. So now I can put the yeah, things happen. And in the very beginning, I also set a little mark here on the focusing ring, and of course it has to sit in line with the mark here. You see, it just have sit down here like this. So, and see, now I can turn the focusing ring by pressing a little on the focusing ring itself. Then I can tighten the small set screws here. So, and up here, still in line. That's great. See, there was a little drama, and so there. This one here, and the last one here. I can after that add a little, thread lock maybe. And of course there is a stop screw, which is this one. It's a countersunk screw, which sits in the focusing ring. So now I can just put this in, tighten it good. Then I have my infinity correct. So you can see that's fine. Now I can add the front, the front here, front helicoid, which I need to put on here. And now I can actually not see it, but click. So it's there, has to sit in line there. Then I can add the take out this the inner lens group, find my spot here, put this in, so everything should sit quite well. Click, assess, and would you like to stay there? So I can add the screws. That was unexpected. Yeah. But it's only human. So there. Let's see. We have to have it in line so it sits correct. And it's fine now. Tighten those screws good. Then add the inner lens screw. Everything is fine. Going a little backward, click, assess. And then screw it in. So, and now tighten the inner lens element. So, that's all fine. And then the very front lens element will come in. So it was just spot on the thread. That's it. And then the nameplate going a little backward, click. Then use the rubber tool. That's all fine. Wow, great. Now I can add the back lens group, put it in. So, and then use number 3 cone to tighten it good. Then add the spring, the little tiny spring, and the little steel ball. Then I can use some grease here. Doesn't have to be a lot, but just add a little. At least so the spring will stay in there, and also the little steel ball. So, and of course the steel ball here. So there. So, and now I can add the aperture ring, and of course it has to sit correct. It will say something like that. Then I can add the ring here. You see all the notch here, the click here. So make sure it's pressed in, and it can be a little tricky, as I discovered, but I think I will just use my special tool here with a 0.16 millimeter piece of metal sheet and press it in. Of course it has to sit correct. The little steel ball here. So now it's fine. Then I can add the aperture ring. So there. It's really not that easy. So maybe someone has a little trick they would like to share. Well, there is another way of doing this, which I found out. And it is to put the so, and then we have the bigger notch that goes to the pin here for the aperture, the inner that moved the aperture assembly. And I can do this. Hopefully it will work. Like that. Not that easy. So now it's fine, hopefully. It's not that easy, but it has to go. Then I can use a dentist tool with a flat kind of spade-like. Yeah, it goes. So now it's actually fine. Then I can add the aperture ring here and set the aperture ring to 3.5. That's important, as I also read here. Then I can add this pin here. So, and then add this ring here, which will sit over here, I think it was. And that this pin here. I'm out of time. Okay, yeah. There was not enough memory on my memory card, but this ring here will sit here. Have my index mark here, and this ring has to sit with the M and A over here. So, and then I can put this on. And just a little dab of the thread lock. It's so good with a magnetized screwdriver. Well, at least in some cases. So, and then we have this the last screw, it will go in here. Then I can tighten them. Good. And now this pin here, which is the M and A, well, I don't know, the lever here. You can see how it works. So when it says to A, it will just stick over to here. It's a bit loose, but it will be pressed down when I put it in. But it needs to be set to A. So that's why we have to set it all the way over to here. So this pin is actually loose. Then I can put it down to this pin here. Hopefully you can see here. Yeah. And hopefully it's possible to put it in here. It's actually quite tight fit. So now it's there. So now I can change it to, and if I turn the aperture ring, it will also work in here. But that's great. Wow. So now I can add the last 3 screws and the rubber grip, and it looks like it will be fine. Just have to check if everything is okay, because just have to make sure it's all fine, and just have to put it in again. So there. So click. Then I will find the correct position there. Then add the last 2 screws, and then we are finally back with a much better and much softer focusing system. So there. Yeah, that's all fine. And let's see, will it work? Wow. When I set to A, wow, that works. Yep. I can just add the rubber grip here, and say that's it. Wow. I think it's quite good. You don't have to have a lot of pressure on it, and the aperture ring is also very good. So all in all, that's actually what it is. So hopefully you can use the info in this video about this lens, and hope you enjoy the content. Yeah, that's all for now. See you sooner. Bye bye.